day 2 of our phenomenon experiment. And the work that I do and the work that I do with my students and my community is really soul digging work, excavation. And no one wants to do it. And we see how long we can get away with not doing it, but then we get life lessons to do it, because we also know that we came here as a phenomenon to be phenomenal in whatever way we came forward. So the feeling I was getting over these last 2 days was this feeling of, yes, the feeling that you're standing taller, and that you have to pick a side at one point. I don't teach duality. I took the ego out of all of my 4 books for a reason. Pick a side. But don't dance between the 2 sides of I'm insecure and I'm in doubt, to run between I'm confident, then I'm not confident, I'm confident, then I'm not confident. I know I need to let that go, but I'm running between 2 sides because I don't want to let that go. Right? That's therapy. And it's pick a side now. Pick a side. And the feeling I was getting, and I'll put it the way I put it, and then you guys can put what your thoughts are. And I think you said, Raina, afraid of standing in the power. Yes, the Marianne Williamson, which I will post with this post on YouTube, will be the post of that you're not afraid of your smallness, you're actually afraid of your light. You're actually afraid of your power, you're actually afraid of your greatness. Now, why is that? So there's 2 reasons. Let's go into the duality of it. You know that through history, when you did shine your light, they came and got you, and they got you, and the begotten one, and we know what happened to the begotten one. You know, if you would shine a little too bright, you were hanging from a tree. If you got noticed, you were lynched. If you were trying to be more than your station, you were put back down. So that's one aspect of not showing your light that is actually ancestral. So we have to clean that. And then there's the other aspect of I don't want to shine my light because I don't want the responsibility. And that was the feeling I was getting from Monday. The feeling I was getting from Monday was this dense electromagnetic energy. This dense electromagnetic energy that felt like gravity, right? This gravity that was, oh, but why do I have to do it? It's a lot of work. But it's not a lot of work, you just have to be it, right? You just have to be who you are. Yes. And I thought we would start today, or maybe we'll do the whole thing, of tapping on it, because it all really boils down to, you know, those spiritual sound bites of the universe has your back. But do you have the universe's back in bringing forward what you came here to bring forward? Do you have your own back? I did a painting many years ago, and it was a backbone, and I called it Backbone, and I had all the chakra system on the backbone in light. It's a massive painting, and it was about having your own backbone, having your own back. But what we do is we want others to have our back, just in case. But first we need to have our own back. So let's do some tapping on, yes, and what happens with the tall poppy syndrome, right? What happens with the tall poppy syndrome? Actually, it wasn't that long ago that France made the guillotine illegal. I think it was in the 1900s, 1960s. So we're not far out of chopping people's heads off. Mind your business. That's the famous one. And we have built a society on minding our business. When there's domestic violence next door, when there is child abuse happening in our neighborhood, when it's in our family, all of it, it's mind your business. What has that got us? So now we haven't to mind our business because there's a phenomenon coming forward. And it is phenomenal, but it's almost like something is being destroyed and created simultaneously. And we have to find our backbone in it. We have to find our center in it. Or we just keep regurgitating sound bites. You need to let that go. See, if you say that to someone who's really going through something, you need to let it go. That's also the only way that they know how to get out of the overwhelming. To let it go is to shed the skin, is commit suicide. That's their only way out. So it is a phrase that's very dense for me. And I only say it to people because I have a tool that lets that go. It's like getting a plumber. And I'm coming looking at your pipes and saying, wow, you need to, clean them all out. You've got a blockage in your sacral chakra. Let that go. And then the plumber leaves. You're like, isn't that what you were here for? It's that simple for me. So let's tap a little, shall we? On this heaviness, this density, this, it's not the word responsibility, but it's like the word responsibility. So if you don't know tapping, just follow our lead. If you don't want to do it without knowing what's happening, then maybe look at your trust issues and why you're on this video. Because that's you trusting that you've been called here and then questioning, is this going to help me or what am I doing here? And I'm not saying suspiciousness is a bad thing, but I'm saying it's caution that you should have, not suspiciousness. Being cautious is different. Yeah, I'm all fired up today. All fired up. So repeat after me, even though it feels dense like a paralysis, I'm going to find my way through. Even though it feels dense like a paralysis, I'm going to find my way through. It feels dense. It feels too dense. I feel like I'm being shut down. I feel like I'm being shut down. I feel deliberately shut down. I feel like something's shutting me down from the outside. I feel like something's shutting me down from the outside and I'm obliging. I feel like something's shutting me down from the outside and I'm obliging. I'm obliging. I'm obliging. I'm obliging. You know when you go to a hypnotist show and they go sleep? That's what it feels like. Like we're in a hypnotic state. So we're going to tap on that. Even though I feel hypnotized to go to sleep, I deeply accept my awakenedness, even though I'm being hypnotized to go to sleep. I deeply accept my awakenedness, even though I feel like I'm being hypnotized to go to sleep. I deeply accept my awakenedness. I accept my awakenedness. I accept my awakenedness than the hypnotist's trick to go to sleep. I'm accepting my awakenedness than the hypnotist's trick to go to sleep. I'm accepting my awakenedness. I'm pushing through for my awakenedness. I'm pushing through my awakenedness. I'm pushing through. 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 Feels like I'm fighting off sleep when I'm not tired. It feels like I'm fighting off sleep when I'm not tired. It feels like I'm fighting off sleep when I'm not tired. It feels like I'm fighting off sleep when I'm not tired. It feels like I'm fighting off sleep when I'm not tired. Wants me to go to sleep. It, Skitty Klein, wants me to go to sleep. Wants me to go to sleep. It wants me to go to sleep. It wants me to go to sleep. It wants me to go to sleep. But I'm too awake for that now. It's just not working anymore. It's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. I'm bored of this trick. I'm bored of being tricked. I'm bored of my own delay. 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 I'm bored of it. And the thing is, right now, we have to adapt quickly. You should watch a movie called General Magic. Mark Porritt, who created the crystal phone. It was an offshoot of Apple that just played around with stuff, icons, new screens that were touch, everything that was then launched in Apple later. And Mark took a long time to recover, decades, from it being too early a release. The internet had just even started. We were just doing the Palm Health, and he was bringing out basically the iPhone 10. And when we recover, when we let it go, when we forgive, when we get back with our boots on the ground to go. But sometimes that recovery can cheat us of decades, of years, and we sometimes miss the next opportunity because we're mourning the death of our business. We're mourning what could have been and should have been. Just look up General Magic, he's in there, and watch the video. Oh, well, it's a movie. So when we are in this space, we do not know what is going to mark us in this moment, right? What is going to mark us later in behaviors, in our proclivities. Oh, I want to start a business again, but you know, I got burned the last time, that pandemic. Do you know how many people have had 10 bankruptcies? But maybe you'll do it differently the next time. Maybe you'll do it yourself. You won't do it with a business partner. Maybe you'll include online. I don't know. But we're going to have a lot of waves in May. And it's the Beltane Festival, Fire Festival, on May 1st, which is very important in the Scottish calendar. It's the lucky fire. I'll do a thing on here on the May 1st. And she brings hope forward. I hope I can get everything back again. I hope I can get it even more. That would be a phenomenon, or phenomenal. Maybe many of you have learned how you want to do it differently the next time. You don't want to be just solely dealing with customers coming through the door. You want to have simultaneously an online presence. Or maybe you want to completely go online. Maybe it's something that you've realized that you enjoy. But the phenomenon we want to come forward past this denseness. But if you're in this denseness, it's hard for you to muster what the phenomenon wants you to be, have, do, deliver, contribute. Okay? And it's insidious. Oh, must have been something I ate at lunchtime. I need to take a lie down. It's in the collective. Wants you to shut off and wants you to shut down. And you need to be awake. Why do you think you call it awakenness? Everybody's woke. Because you're asleep. And this is what the denseness is. It's the sleepiness, the heaviness, the denseness. That's what depression is. It's a denseness. It's a feeling that you're kind of trapped in a box of dense, treacle thick energy. Like electromagnetic. Even though I'm here to marvel at what's coming, that's got nothing to do with the system. It makes the system obsolete. I deeply trust the phenomenon, even though I'm here to marvel at what's coming forward. I'm going to focus on that, even though I'm resisting, marveling, and being hypnotized, and being annoyed at the system when I have to make the system obsolete. I deeply trust the marvel. I have to make the system obsolete, but I have to see the marvel. I have to marvel at the phenomenon. 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 Because it's significant. Because again, we get hypnotized by the system. We're getting hypnotized by the system and we need to see past the system. We're getting hypnotized to critique the system when we need to make the system obsolete. We need to be inventive, innovative, creative. We have to allow it to come through us. We have to own it. 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 We have to allow it to appear. We have to allow it to appear through us, by us, for us. We have to allow it to appear. We have to allow it to appear. We have to allow it to appear. It's just too much. It's too much. Feels too much. Feels too big. It's too big. It's too big. It's too big. It's too big for me to take on. It's too big. I just have to calibrate to it. I 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 have to calibrate to it. Take a deep breath. If you're starting something, or you're about to start a business, or about to create something, and you know, everybody puts it down to, well, I can't afford it, or I don't know how that's going to happen. I can't. Rather than saying that, say, how can I? How can I pull this off? How can I let this be bigger than me? How can I be part of something? That hasn't even formed yet, but it's gonna choose me to make it phenomenal. So let's finish with that today, with that feeling. That resignation. That resignation of the littleness. Resigning your resistance to, okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll be it. So let's take 3 deep sighs. Another breath in, and then just sigh it out. Okay. I want you to do that over the next few days when you hear any little worry, any doubt. Okay. I'll do it. I'll be it. I'll give it a go. That kind of resignation to the resistance of knowing what it is that you're here to do, be, trust, have, contribute. Shh. Sorry, that was magic. Yes! Second that. So I want you to pull that energy in. And right now, you can't go anywhere. But I want you to go in your mind to a place that you felt its power. Maybe you're gonna look it up on YouTube or some webcam. Maybe it's in Nepal, maybe it's the Himalayas, maybe it's Yosemite. Maybe it's that strait between Antarctica and South America. That churning of the ocean. And I want you to draw that power in for where you need it. What you need it for. In your cocoon is this metamorphosis. It's churning within you. This realization of overriding old cultural systems telling you you're not enough and who do you think you are and what's the point, this nihilism. I'm feeling into that. Feeling into that space that supersedes all those old seeds. All those old seeds you tell yourself are ingrained have just been superseded by you nurturing that you are that phenomenon. Trusting that. Trusting that more than you trust your doubt. Pick a side. Knowing you can do it with fear being present. Fear being part of the excitement. The thrill. That it's so thrilling to be doing you, being you. Getting religious about it. being part of the faithful. To your dreams, your visions, your ideas, having faith in action. Take a nice deep breath. And gently open your eyes. Yeah, that felt like it moved from your head. It was all up here in your head. The idea, the intellectualness of I am a phenomenon. The intellectualness of I need to let that go. The intellectualness of I know what I need to do. But it has to drop into your heart. And that's where they like to keep it, in your head. Because then you don't bring your content forward. But when it goes into the heart, it goes into, you're going to live wholeheartedly. Now that it's here, you can really, right? Say that. Here. You can really get into action. Rather than reading more books. Books are great. But you have to decide, when am I reading books and doing these things that don't go into action. Yes, just like Yosemite. It is a phenomenon. So let's see what happens over the next 2 days now that it's dropped into your heart. A good place to be. Courage, cool, in French, from the Latin, cool, heart, to live wholeheartedly, courage, to have the courage to step up, have the courage to say things that, other people say, mind your business. This is how we've always done it. So I really look forward to seeing what this phenomenon is that's going to burst from you. Okay? you can just buy into the other stuff. Everybody's selling a belief. It's up to you. I don't get involved with conversion. Right? It just doesn't ding my bell to convert someone to another way of thinking. People's beliefs are people's beliefs. But slowly, over 20 years, I have seen many of you convert yourself because you realized, as you have awakened, that you've been hypnotized and you've been asleep. And things just don't add up. So now, let's bring forward a phenomenon.